Each year, the Shattuck Center at Central European University's School of Public Policy hosts the annual Lemkin Reunion, a gathering named in honor of Raphael Lemkin, the Polish lawyer who lost his family in the Holocaust and who was first to coin the word genocide. But so have questions about the systematic obstacles facing the return of over half the Syrian population who have been displaced internally or abroad. This year's Lemkin brought together Syrian and other experts, academics and policymakers to address this question.
In this panel, we are examining the question of return for Syrian refugees to Syria. This question right now hides assumption that the Syrian conflict is approaching to the end. But I think this is unfortunately not right. The dynamic of the conflict in Syria has changed so much during the last 2 years. We had before 2 Syrian sides fighting each other, but after that, the last 2 years, everything changes. Now, after the Russian intervention in Syria, the tendency of the regional and international players in Syria toward direct intervening in Syria has increased. So now we have in Syria many players with their army and soldiers inside Syria, and the Syrians are not anymore the main decision makers.
According to my research, based on the interviews I have conducted with Syrians in Turkey, the first condition of return is the removal of all foreign powers inside Syria. The second condition following that is basically the fall of the Assad regime. These two remarks have been made by all Syrians without any exceptions. Return should be a right, and therefore it should be voluntary, not forced. And for this right to be exercised, people need to feel secure. When it comes to Turkey, there are push factors and there are pull factors. The push factors are basically making life difficult for Syrians in Turkey. This one of the main issues is related to their legal status, which is temporary protection, which does not make any future stability or guarantee for Syrians in Turkey. So this plays as a push factor because people who don't feel secure in Turkey for their future, for the future of their children, will prefer to go back to Syria. But on the other hand, because the Turkish government started basically giving citizenship to Syrian refugees, those who receive citizenship are mostly unlikely to return to Syria. In short, we should look at both the conditions inside Syria, the necessary conditions, as well as the push and pull factors in Turkey.
The problem now that we are having regional and international war inside Syria, it's not anymore a fight between Syrians. Now it's not just the problem of the regime. Now the problem, we have 5 or 6 maybe armies inside our country. They are dividing the area of influence in different areas between them, and they are fighting in our country.
There are like millions of Syrians living in the neighboring countries of Syria, mainly Turkey, Lebanon and Jordan. And there are Syrians living in Europe. They all live under different conditions. Therefore, it is important to basically share outcomes of research in order to understand the different contexts in which refugees are living.
Meeting all of these people from different countries, which are all specialized in different sectors, but they all discussing the same topics. This is very important for us. This is very give added value to our work, surely.
And I feel like it is very important for Syrians to do research, on the refugee community themselves. So for me, I find it a very important opportunity to meet, especially young Syrian researchers, and to hear about, their view about the future of their country and their society.